Hello there, you're with NDTV. I'm Siddhikant. King Charles III held his first audience with Prime Minister Liz Truss at Buckingham Palace. The meeting comes after the King was given a welcome as he greeted well-wishers gathered outside the palace following the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II. A pre-recorded televised address from the King, which is the first, was also made some time back, in which he paid tribute to his mother's life.
As my heir, William now assumes the Scottish titles which have meant so much to me. He succeeds me as Duke of Cornwall and takes on the responsibilities for the Duchy of Cornwall, which I have undertaken for more than 5 decades. Today, I am proud to create him Prince of Wales, Tywysog Cymru, the country whose title I've been so greatly privileged to bear during so much of my life and duty. With Catherine beside him, our new Prince and Princess of Wales will, I know, continue to inspire and lead our national conversations, helping to bring the marginal to the centre ground, where vital help can be given. I want also to express my love for Harry and Meghan as they continue to build their lives overseas. In a little over a week's time, we will come together as a nation, as a Commonwealth, and indeed a global community, to lay my beloved mother to rest. In our sorrow, let us remember and draw strength from the light of her example. On behalf of all my family, I can only offer the most sincere and heartfelt thanks for your condolences and support. They mean more to me than I can ever possibly express. And to my darling Mama, as you begin your last great journey to join my dear late Papa, I want simply to say this: thank you. Thank you for your love and devotion to our family and to the family of nations you have served so diligently all these years.
Let's move on now. The disengagement of Indian and Chinese troops from Gogra Hot Springs in Ladakh will be completed by Monday. The development comes ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Uzbekistan visit for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization or SCO summit, where he is expected to come face-to-face with Chinese President Xi Jinping for the first time since the start of the Eastern Ladakh friction in 2020. Both sides have agreed that all temporary structures and other allied infrastructure created in the area will be dismantled and mutually verified. The landforms in the area will be restored to pre-standoff period by both sides. The two sides have agreed to cease forward deployments in this area in a phased, coordinated and verified manner.
根据中印第16轮军长级会谈达成的共识，双方一线部队9月8日在嘉南达坂地区开始脱离接触。这是一个时期以来两国外交、军事各层级多轮会谈取得的成果，有利于促进中印边境地区的和平安宁。
India's drought crisis. Now let's talk about that, because rice production has been critically hit in 4 key states due to drought.
This is India's rice crisis in a nutshell. Today, the centre spelled out the extent of the crisis. For the first time this monsoon, it accepted that 4 states are facing a drought. The situation is terrible in 4 states. While the rainfall shortage is the most in UP, as much as 47%, it's minus 36% in Bihar and minus 29% in Bengal and minus 26% in Jharkhand, all major rice producing states.
धान की खेती बारिश कम होने के कारण आधी रह गई है, जो पिछली साल के अकॉर्डिंग अब आधी फसल हो पाएगी हमें पिछले साल 3 कुंटल की हुई तो अब के 1.5 कुंटल होने की संभावना है।
जी धान की यही सिंचाई ना होने के कारण सर ये धान देख रहे हैं सूख रहा है, पीछे भी अपना है सर, सिंचाई ना होने के कारण उसमें सिंचाई ना होने के कारण रोपाई नहीं हो पाई उसमें।
This means India will be producing 8 to 9% less rice compared to last year, although part of the reason is the diversification of crops in other states. In response to the rice production crisis, the government has imposed a 20% duty on the export of all non-basmati rice. It has also banned the export of broken rice, which is used as animal feed, especially for cattle and poultry. Recently, milk prices had been increased because of a shortage of fodder, which was the result of the heatwave affected wheat harvest. The government justifies the protectionist move, but exporters in places like Haryana are angry.
Broken rice, which was almost around 15-16 rupees, this has also gone to 22 rupees. Now, which is also, and as a result of which, the broken rice is also not available either for the poultry feed or for the ethanol for which they were using broken rice, damaged food grains.
जब वीट का एक्सपोर्ट हो रहा था तो बाद में सर्वे आया कि यील्ड बहुत कम निकली है और गवर्नमेंट की प्रोक्योरमेंट बहुत कम हुई थी, तो उसके के वो वीट एक्सपोर्ट करना बंद करना ज़रूरी था, नहीं तो यहाँ पे बड़ी ज़्यादा शॉर्टेज हो जाती। मगर परमल में शायद ऐसी चीज़ नहीं होती।
In Punjab, there's another crisis. Some farmers are ripping out their unripened paddy because they say it's stunted. The government's experts say that it won't impact the paddy yield, but farmers aren't convinced.
ਹੁਣ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੇਖਣਾ ਆਇਆ ਵੀ ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਐਮਐਲਏ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਝੰਡੀਆਂ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਤੋਈਆਂ ਫਿਰਨ ਦੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਿਮੀਂਦਾਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਪਰਵਾਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੀ।
A weak monsoon has now created a sort of crisis for the rice economy in the country. The government, which had earlier imposed a ban on wheat exports, has now again banned the export of broken rice as well as imposed a 20% duty on the export of non-basmati rice. Now this has certainly upset the farmers and exporters across the country. With Himanshu Shekhar in Delhi and Alok Pandey in Lucknow, in Chandigarh, Mohammad Ghazali for NDTV.
Let's take a look now at the BJP's organizational rejig ahead of 2024. Ousted Central State Chief Ministers have been given responsibilities. Former Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani, former Tripura Chief Minister Biplab Dev and former ministers like Prakash Javadekar, Mahesh Sharma have been made in charge of states. Bihar in charge is now Vinod Tavre, in charge of Haryana earlier. Former Tripura Chief Minister Biplab Dev will now be in charge of Haryana. Om Mathur is now in charge of Chhattisgarh. Arun Singh and P. Muralidhar Rao have been retained as in charges of election-bound Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. Those with no organizational post have been made in charge of states. About the other political party now, that's the Congress. 24 hours of Rahul Gandhi's yatra, and there already seems to be some sort of rethink on his position on taking on the mantle of the Congress president.
The grand old party trying to set the pace ahead of 2024 elections. With this, it's Bharat Jodo Yatra. From the southernmost tip of the country, Kanyakumari, with the theme of uniting India against hatred.
Whether I become president or don't become president, this will become very clear when the presidential election takes place of the Congress party. It will become clear that, so wait till that time. I have very clearly decided in my mind what I am going to do. There is no confusion in my mind at all.
Gandhi is leading it for the first 3 days. Day 1 of the yatra began at 7 a.m. at Agasthiswaram in Kanyakumari on Thursday. After covering 13 kilometers in the first half of day 1, Rahul Gandhi and about 200 fellow yatris and team members took a break at the 102-year-old SM Higher Secondary School, which Mahatma Gandhi had visited in 1937. The second half of the day 1, which began at 4 p.m. on Thursday, covering 10 kilometers by 6 p.m. The camp was set up at a college ground near Nagarkoil. The camp being a convoy of 60 such containers turned rooms for 200 odd people. While Rahul Gandhi has one to himself, others will be sharing, senior leaders in 2-bedded containers and other yatris in 6 or 12-bedded ones, each with attached toilet. Of these 60 containers, 9 have been modified to house women yatris.
After 2 days of yatra of walking almost 40-odd kilometers, the yatris are standing in queue here to give their clothes for laundry, and the arrangements for even for cleaning the clothes have also been made here. With camera person SP Babu, this is Arvind Gunasekar from Kanyakumari for NDTV.
And journalist Siddhikant has got bail after almost 2 years in jail. The Supreme Court stressed on freedom of expression while hearing that matter of the bail. The CJI said what material was dangerous. He asked the UP government to explain that. The CJI also said, is there any literature which shows anything damaging? Ganesha was celebrated, in fact, across the country today. The most spectacular celebrations were seen in Maharashtra, Karnataka and Gujarat. At the culmination of the festival on Anant Chaturdashi, the idols of Lord Ganesha were taken to nearby water bodies and immersed. Devotees take the idols for immersion in grand procession, and that's what was seen across especially Mumbai, which celebrates it with great fervour. The authorities in Mumbai and Pune and other parts of state of Maharashtra made elaborate arrangements for the immersion of the idols and processions.
This means come again soon next year, and this is how this festival is being celebrated, full of people, the biggest festival of the city as well as the state. Devotees gather just to see a glimpse of a lot of idols. This is the tallest idol at 38 feet in Mumbai as well as Maharashtra, known as Khetwadicha Raja as well as Mumbaicha Maharaja.
Celebratory atmosphere here. The Ganesha is coming in different vehicles depending on who's bringing them. There could be the big Ganeshas, the clay Ganeshas, the small Ganeshas. इस बार ही जब आप उनको विदा कर रहे हैं, गणेश जी को विदा कर रहे हैं, तो क्या मांग कर रहे हैं आप?
सबको खुश रखे, बस यही इच्छा है, कोरोना चले जाए, जीरो हो जाए.
This is how the last day of Ganesh Chaturthi is being celebrated in Mumbai's Girgaon area. Now where I am present, this is the place where all the Ganesh pandals from different part of the cities come, and the idols are immersed in the Arabian Sea, the Girgaon Chowpatty.
Well, and the newly unveiled statue of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose at India Gate saw a drone show around it. Drones formed Netaji's outline. The Ministry of Culture organized the drone show at India Gate.